and thank you for tuning in to our channel. In today's headlines, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, arrives in the afternoon of Monday in Egypt for a work and fraternal visit. He was received at Cairo International Airport by his counterpart and brother, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Humanitarian aid operation composed of 108 tons of foodstuffs and 400,000 doses of anti-COVID-19 Sinovac vaccines was launched from the military air base of Bufarik to Mali. While the number of contamination is still on the rise, with more than 2,200 new confirmed cases, the vaccination campaign continues. An example in our news bulletin from schools in the province of Oran. And finally, we wrap up our news in the far south of the country to discover the mystical beauty of the Tassili Najer National Park, which is attracting visitors. As an example in our news bulletin, the visit of a delegation of diplomats to the World Heritage Site. Good evening. Those were the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, arrived on Monday afternoon to Egypt for a working and fraternal visit. He was received at the international airport of Cairo by his brother counterpart Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and high members of the state of Egypt. The President of the Republic was accompanied by an important ministerial delegation. This visit aims to strengthen cooperation and bilateral relations and bring it to the high level of the political and historic relations binding the two countries. First, the President of the Republic stopped over to meet representatives of the national community in Egypt, where he listened to their concerns and exchanged with them views on the adopted policy to include the national community abroad in the edification of the state's institutions, highlighting at the same time the priority that the national community abroad has in the program of the President of the Republic. The President of the Republic left Algeria on Monday morning to Egypt in a working and a fraternal visit of 2 days. After having listened to the national anthem, President Tebboune reviewed a formation of the Republican Guards who paid him the honors. The head of state was greeted at his departure by the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Ayman bin Abdurrahman, the Lieutenant General, Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Said Shangriha, and the Presidency's Cabinet Director, Abdelaziz Khalaf. To cooperation file now. The Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Ayman bin Abdurrahman, received the Qatari Minister of Justice, Masoud bin Mohammed Al Amari. The two parties reviewed the reality of relations between the two brotherly countries and the means and ways to strengthen in the different fields, notably the constitutional, magistrature and justice. The encounter took place in the presence of the Minister of Justice. The Qatari Minister of Justice was also received by the President of the Constitutional Court, Ammar Belhaj. The two parties reviewed several files pertaining to the development of magistrature, as well as the role of the Constitutional Court in reinforcing the judicial system in accordance to the new constitution. The Qatari minister said that this visit is part of the efforts to reinforce relations between Qatar and Algeria. He stressed that he was convinced that this visit, which relates to judicial sector, has a vaster horizon. He underlined that he was pleased to meet the President of the Constitutional Court, with whom he exchanged several matters relating to the work of the Constitutional Court and its specialties. The Minister of Justice, Abdurrashid Tabbi, also received his Qatari counterpart, Masoud bin Mohammed Al-Amari. The two parties had talks on the historic relations between the two countries and the two peoples. Then a memorandum of understanding and cooperation in the justice sector was signed. This concerns the exchange of competences and experiences in the justice sector so as to better the functioning and performance of the justice sector between the two countries. To COVID situation in Algeria now, the number of infections is always on the rise. In fact, 2,215 new confirmed cases of coronavirus, 988 recoveries and 13 new deaths were recorded in the last 24 hours, according to the Health Ministry. And to our channel, Abdulrahman bin Bouzid, the health minister, gave more insights about the COVID-19 situation in Algeria and the different infection waves it witnessed. Let's have a listen.
Waves, the first, the third, the second, the third was very, very difficult. And currently we have the fourth wave, which is less dangerous. We have less people hospitalized, less than 5,000. And I remember that in the third wave we have had more than 17,000. There were many problems with population and especially with oxygen. Now we don't have any problem with drugs, with beds in hospitals, and with, of course, oxygen. So the situation is so stable.
Within the framework of solidarity of Algeria with neighboring countries, a humanitarian aid operation was launched from the military airbase of Boufarik. The aid consists of transporting 108 tons of foodstuffs and 400,000 doses of anti-COVID-19 vaccines, Sinovac, to the brotherly country of Mali. The operation will be on several steps via Algerian Air Force's military airplanes to Bamako. The first step of the operation consists of humanitarian aid by the Algerian Red Crescent to the Malian one. These are 23 tons of foodstuffs and 300,000 doses of Sinovac vaccines. This aid aims to strengthen the friendship and assistance ties between the two Algerian and Malian peoples. In the second step, 100,000 doses of anti-COVID-19 vaccines will be sent. The Health Minister, Abdulrahman bin Bouzid, gave more insights about the number of aid operations organized as part of cooperation and humanitarian aid to neighboring countries, and as he was instructed by the President of the Republic. Let's have a listen.
Yes, our President, he asked me to send, with the solidarity with some countries, especially Mali, Niger, and Tunisia, to send them a lot of vaccines and oxygen. And this today, early in the morning, 2 planes went to Mali with 400,000 vaccines to Mali, the same quantity for Niger in some days after. And I have had this morning a talk with my colleague from Tunisia. And we have had a speech, and we collaborate during long weeks. And we are going to send them to Tunisia oxygen and 1 million of vaccines.
In accordance with the instructions of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and Minister of National Defense, and after consultation with the scientific community monitoring the evolution of the coronavirus and the Health Situation Authority, Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Ayman bin Abdulrahman, decided to take preventive measures to be implemented under the health crisis management mechanism related to the coronavirus pandemic. These measures are aimed at preserving the health of citizens and protecting them from any danger of the spread of the coronavirus. And in view of the COVID-19 situation, they are aimed at extending the current protection and prevention mechanism for a period of 10 days starting from Tuesday, the 25th, 2022. It should be noted that the measures decided by the President of the Republic to suspend studies at the level of national education remain in force until Saturday, 29th of January. Moving on to the educational sector, where several vaccination centers have been put at the disposal of the educational staff alongside medical teams so as to stem the spread of the virus. The details in this report by Melissa Kubash.
As part of the efforts deployed to curb the spread of the current pandemic, a fourth vaccination campaign has been launched for the benefit of the educational staff, namely in the province of Oran, where 42 inoculation centers have been mobilized for this operation that will last for 5 days.
We've responded to the Health Ministry's call and we came to get our immunization shots against the COVID-19 virus. And this is my third dose. I've been diagnosed with diabetes, therefore I came to get my third dose of the vaccine in order to protect myself and my pupils.
And with an aim to immunize 10,000 teachers and administrative workers of the 26 municipalities, 25 medical teams were also put at the disposal of the educational staff to ensure the success of this campaign.
We hope that the educational staff will cooperate with new We hope that the educational staff will cooperate with new We hope that the educational staff will cooperate with new We hope that the educational staff will cooperate with new We hope that the educational staff will cooperate with new
Livestock feed has been longer subject to smuggling. To put an end to this issue, a vast control campaign is organized on the ground. Several teams from the National Gendarmerie were deployed to inspect several storage points. Rani Al-Bahri reports.
Livestock feed is subject to smuggling. To deal with this matter, a large control campaign is organized in the field. Teams from the National Gendarmerie and the Ministries of Trade and Agriculture inspected storage points in 15 provinces. In addition to the lack of livestock feed, prices are rising. Our units were able to compile several files against 184 violators, as we seized more than 900 tons of livestock feed, or 77 billion dinars. The province of Jilfa is also considered as a pastoral region. It witnessed a special operation to stop smuggling. The National Gendarmerie Brigades of Jilfa province made control operations in several points of sale and storage that didn't have trade registers and purchase orders, then seized a large amount of livestock feed and wheat in several warehouses. In order to stop smuggling, this battle continues across the national territory. Thus, breeders will be supplied with fodder without interruption and at prices set by the state.
Moving on to Constantine province now, where the National Aggregates Company in Al-Khroub specializes in manufacturing calcium carbonate with a production capacity of over 300,000 tons per year. More details in this report by Maysa Dumas.
In the province of Constantine, precisely in the municipality of Al-Khroub, this company is specialized in manufacturing calcium carbonate, a product used in several industries such as plastic, glass, and building, in order to satisfy the national market and ensure quality products. The National Aggregates Company has been the leader in the production and marketing of calcium carbonate since 1994, and currently its production capacity is 300,000 tons per year. We make sure that each product undergoes a rigorous check to ensure its good quality. Another factory with international standards is under construction to ensure the efficiency of carbonates of calcium. This project will ensure the manufacturing of 100,000 tons of calcium carbonate per year. We usually import 200,000 to 250,000 tons of it, and we are planning to reduce the import of this material. It is worth mentioning that this new large-scale project will help boost the economic sector, reduce export, and create more job opportunities.
In the Sahrawi case, organizations are challenging the European Union institutions on the illegality of economic activities in the occupied Western Sahara. These organizations have seized the high institutions of the European Union to denounce the exploitation of natural resources in occupied Western Sahara. Despite the decisions of the European Court of Justice, a total of 126 organizations sent a letter to the President of the European Commission on Sunday. Moving on to Palestine now, the Ministry of Health in the Gaza Strip confirmed that Zionist occupation authorities continue to prevent the entry of medical devices into the Strip and to prevent the exit of faulty equipment used to diagnose diseases to treat patients. The ministry called on the international community to put pressure on the Zionist occupation authorities to allow the entry of medical devices into the Gaza Strip, which is experiencing a fourth wave of the COVID-19, noted that the Zionist entity is preventing patients from obtaining necessary care, whether inside the Strip or in the occupied West Bank and Al-Quds. And last, let's take you now to the extreme south of the country, to one of the most beautiful outdoor divine masterpieces, the Tassili Najer, the National Park, which conceals treasures, some of which are still unknown. The mystical beauty of the place never ceases to arouse interest. An example, this time, a delegation composed of diplomats from several countries who come to admire the World Heritage Site in Askelu with this report.
The Tassili Najer, classified as a World Heritage Site, is a series of mountains that is considered the largest open-air museum in the world. The National Park of Tassili Najer, located in the heart of the desert in the southeast of Algeria, in Janet province. The site's beauty still arouses the interest of a large number of foreign tourists who came to discover the geological diversity of the site and especially the famous rock engravings. It's not only a cultural park. It's classified by the UNESCO as a World Cultural and Natural Heritage Site. I'm delighted and impressed. I will tell all my colleagues in Germany about this great experience that I have had. I hope to come back once again. I was a month and a half ago in Tamnarast province and I had a great desire to come back. I think that the cooperation between our two countries is an exemplary cooperation in this matter. This visit was an opportunity to promote for Saharan tourism and to discover the fabulous tourist sites of the Tassili Najer, in particular through the rock engravings and archaeological remains that are a testimony to the ancient history of the region. It's my first time in the desert. I'm very happy to be here. The two things that I will never forget are the sunset and the paintings. The diplomatic delegation was able to discover the National Park of Tassili Najer. Our objective is to make known the cultural and natural aspects of this site, which constitutes a national and universal heritage. This visit is part of the sector strategy aiming to consolidate Algeria's position in the world tourism market. The Tassili Najer is becoming the preferred destination for foreign visitors eager to discover the great Algerian South.
Well, that's it for tonight. From me and the rest of the team, thank you for watching. Bye for now.